Okay, I'm going to work some problems off the homework assignment that was due today. It is out of the old Algebra 2 book. So it says lesson 6.1, practice B. So we got and we worked evens. That's from last year?
Yep.
Yeah. Last year I did a video at home and the cat kept whining at the door. So the cat was whining the whole time. All right, so the first one. These are power to power. They're going to multiply. The next one would be number 4. And we have 8 to the 4th. All over 8 to the 6th. So these exponents are going to subtract. Since the largest exponent is in the denominator, I'm going to write it like this. And we'll go ahead and evaluate that one. Number 6 is 4 times 4 cubed over 4 to the 6th. So the numerator the exponents would add this, so that would be 4 to the 4th, all over 4 to the 6th. Now the exponents will subtract the largest exponents on the bottom, so that's going to be 1 over 4 to the 6 minus 4. That's going to be 1 over 4 squared. That's 1/16. Eight is, so let's distribute that negative exponent. Now the negative on those exponents will cause the 2 to move to the top, the 1 to move to the bottom. So 2 to the 4th is 16. 1 to the 4th is 1. Ten is, the exponents are going to add. In this case, the exponent is going to distribute in, giving me 3 squared x squared. That'd be 9x squared. Okay, the exponent's going to distribute in. This is going to be 4 to the 4th. And then for the x cubed, that would be 3 times 4. That would be x to the 12th. 4 to the 4th, that's getting up there without calculators. Maybe you guys left at 4 to the 4th. That's okay. 4 to the 4th would be 256, I believe. So either one of those would work for me, that one or that one. So 18 is 3x squared over 6x to the 5th. So the exponents will distribute in the numerator, giving me 3 squared over x squared all over x to the 5th. 3 squared is 9. So I have 9x squared. Let's take care of the x's too. So I have a larger exponent on the denominator, so that's going to be, I left the 6 off. There we go. So that's going to be 9 all over 6x cubed. And then we can simplify the fraction. So that would be 3 all over 2x cubed. Did I skip 16? Let's put it here. Whoa. Okay, let's work on the x's. So I have an x squared in the top and x to the negative 1 in the denominator. The squared is larger than the denominator, so I'm going to take 2 minus a negative 1. That's going to give me an x cubed in the numerator, and my x's are done. For the y's, I have a y cubed in the denominator, a y in the numerator. That would be a exponent of 1. The largest exponent's in the denominator, so 3 minus 1 is 2. There's nothing I can do with the numbers. They're not included in any of the exponents. Okay, let's go to 20. 20 says find an expression for the area of the circle. So 20 looks like this, and it's got a circle with a radius of pi x squared. That's the radius. Now the area of a circle is equal to pi times the radius squared. So let's put the radius into that. So the area is equal to pi times pi x squared squared. That's the radius. So let's go ahead and distribute the exponent, pi. Now the exponent will distribute to the pi that's inside the parentheses, giving me pi squared. The x squared times 2 is x to the 4th. So now I have the area is equal to pi cubed, x to the 4th. Number 22 is it says the speed of Mercury is approximately, it's 226 million miles around the sun. So that's the distance around the sun, and it takes it 2,100 hours to revolve around there. And it says it wants me to put it in scientific notation. Okay, so what we're going to do is we would take the top number, and we're going to move the decimal place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 2.26 times 10 to the 8th. The denominator, we're going to move the decimal place 1, 2, 3 places. So that would be 2.1 times 10 cubed. Now working it out in scientific notation, I'm going to take 2.26 and divide it by 2.1. Okay, so what I'm going to do to solve this is I'm going to go ahead and take the number part and I'm going to divide them. They don't have any exponents on them, so 2.26 divided by 2.1 is 1.076. Now for my tens, that's an exponential form, so I'm simply going to just subtract the exponents. The largest exponent is the 8, so that would be 10 to the 5th power. And there's my answer written in exponential form. Okay, this is the side C of the homework. So what we're going to do is we're going to distribute the exponents here. So that would be 3, and the exponents would multiply. So that would be 3 to the 6th, all over 3 to the negative 1. Then these would subtract, largest one minus the smallest one. That would be 3 to the 6th minus the negative 1. That would be 3 to the 7th. The next one, we're going to distribute the negative 3 in. So I would have 2 to the negative 3, 3 to the negative 3. Now, to get rid of the negative exponents, I'm going to switch the positions of the numbers from numerators to denominators. So the 2 would be 2 cubed as a denominator, 3 cubed is a numerator. So 3 cubed is 27, 2 cubed is 8. Okay, number 6. What we're going to do is we're going to distribute the negative 3 into this. That's going to give me 1 to the negative 3 all over 3 to the negative 3. Now my denominator will be 1 to the 4th, 3 to the 4th. As I take the first parentheses and distribute the 4 in. Now for the one that is 1/3 to the negative 2, that would be 1 to the negative 2, 3 to the negative 2. So just working on the denominator. Well, let's go ahead and take the numerator. Since these both have negative 3 exponents, I can get rid of the negatives by switching them. So that would be 3 cubed all over 1 cubed. My denominator would be 1 to the 4th plus a minus 2. So that would be 1 squared. My denominator would be 3 squared. Okay, now let me make sure that's right. 3 squared. So let's go ahead and now what we're going to do is we'll take the denominator and the numerator times the reciprocal of the denominator. So that would be, the top would be times, the bottom would be times 3 squared all over 1 squared. And the numerator would be 3 squared all over 1 squared. So my denominator becomes 1, and my numerator becomes 3 cubed times 3 squared all over 1 cubed times 1 squared. 1 cubed is 1, 1 squared is 1, so that would just be over 1. So what I'll have now is the 1 is a denominator. That's just going to be 3 to the 5th. Next one is I'm going to take and multiply everything in the numerator. Right? So let's simplify the numerator first. So negative 2 times 2, that's a negative 4. Then I have an x squared times x to the minus 1. So that's going to be x to the 2 plus a negative 1. My denominator is going to be 3. I have an x. And then I have a y cubed and a y to the minus 1. So that would be y to the 3 plus a negative 1. So I'm going to have a negative 4x to the 2 plus a negative 1. That's going to be to the first. And my denominator would be 3x y to the 3 minus 1. That's going to be y squared. So now then the x's will cancel out. They both have the same exponent. I'm going to have a negative 4 all over 3y squared. Okay, the next one, I'm going to multiply the numerators across, simplifying as I go. So what I'm going to have is 5 times a negative 2. That's going to be equal to a negative 10. I have an x squared and an x to the minus 1. Those exponents will add, so 2 minus 1 is going to be x with an exponent of 1. The y's, I have a y times a y. They both have exponents of 1. So that's going to be y squared. That's my numerator. The denominator will be 8 x cubed y. Now let's simplify numerator to denominator. The numbers, a negative 10/8 is going to be a negative 5/4. So I'm going to have a negative 5 in the numerator. The x's, the largest exponent is the 3 in the denominator. So that would be 3 minus 1 would be 2. With the x being squared in the denominator, since the 3 is in the denominator. And then we have y. 2 minus 1 would be y in the numerator. So I have a negative 5y over x squared. Moving on to number 12. I'm going to distribute the negative exponent in. So I've got x to the negative 6, y to the negative 4. Distributing the negative 2 in, I've got 2 to the negative 2, x to the negative 8. So I distributed the negative 2 into the numerator and the denominator. Okay, 2 to the negative 2, that's 2 squared, but it's got a negative exponent. So first it's going to move to the numerator as 2 squared, getting the negative off the exponent. The x's, the largest exponent is a negative 6 in the numerator. So a negative 6 minus a negative 8 in the denominator. That would be a negative 6 plus 8. That would be x squared in the numerator. The y, which is a negative 4, will simply slide to the bottom and become an y to the 4th. So I've got 4x squared y to the 4th. The next one, Let's distribute the square. I have x to the 4th, y to the 10th, 2 times 2 for the x, 5 times 2 for the y, z squared. So I'm multiplying when I have a power to a power. In the denominator, I'll have 2 squared, x cubed. The 3 times the 2 is x to the 6th. Simplifying numerator to denominator, the largest exponent for x is in the denominator. So I'm going to have a 4. Well, 2 squared is 4. This would be x squared, 6 minus 4. 6 minus 4 in the denominator. I would have y to the 10th in the numerator. It doesn't have anything to simplify with. And z squared, because z doesn't have anything else to simplify with. 16. These are a little different. It says find the value of x that will make this true. So what I'm going to do is 2 to the x times 2 cubed. The bases are both 2. So this would be 2, and then we would add x plus 3, because those exponents add. So 2 to the x plus 3 is equal to 2 to the 5th. So for this to be true, this exponent must be equal to that one. So I can write the equation x plus 3 is equal to 5, x is equal to 2. Moving to the next one. These are the 5 to the x is to the 3rd power. So that's going to be 5, and that it would multiply. 5 to 3x is equal to 5 to the 12th. The bases are the same, so these exponents must be equal to each other. So 3x must be equal to 12. X must be equal to 4. And the last one, I believe, is find the value of x. So multiplying, well, actually, let's take a look. And the y squared and y squared, those are going to cancel because 2 minus 2 is 0. So I'm simply going to have the equation 2 to the negative x is equal to 2 to the 5th. So the exponents, since the bases are the same, must be equal. So I have a negative x is equal to 5, x is equal to a negative 5.